If you may have not heard, Israel and Hamas are no longer at a ceasefire. After Hamas refused to release the rest of the hostages, Israel was obligated to go back into the Gaza Strip and fight off Hamas. Let's take a look at a video of Fox News reporting about the ceasefire breaking and, of course, Benjamin Netanyahu's response. Let's take a look.
Now, Israeli forces are striking Hamas terror targets in Gaza. The nearly 2-month ceasefire over as the terrorists refuse to release innocent Israeli hostages, and Israel and America say we're done waiting. Former IDF spokesperson, Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Conricus, joins us live from Tel Aviv. Colonel, great to see you. What kind of force are you facing now in Hamas after the ceasefire? Did they rearm?
Yes, good morning to you, and thank you for having me. What we're seeing on the other side is a Hamas that is refusing to release 59 Israeli hostages. 24 of them are presumed alive, including one live American, and the rest are Israelis and from other nationalities. Hamas has made, unfortunately, good use of the ceasefire, and they have recruited hundreds, if not many thousands, of additional fighters amongst the Palestinian population, and they have made all efforts to scavenge explosives from the battlefield, unexploded ordnance, in order to prepare those against the IDF. And I think that what we will see on the battlefield in the coming days and weeks will be exactly how much Hamas has prepared. We know that they have intentions to attack Israel again. And what Israel did last night is a preemptive strike, which serves two purposes. One, to signal to Hamas that, as you said very correctly, we are done waiting for you to release our hostages. And if you don't release hostages, there's a price to pay in blood. And two, to prevent Hamas from launching additional attacks against Israel.
Colonel, how much different is...
Every time there's a ceasefire, Hamas has time to regroup, rearm, and reattack. That's why I'm against ceasefires unequivocally, because that just gives them fuel. It gives them time to prepare. And now they're stronger than ever. I mean, not stronger than ever, but they're stronger than before. They can reattack Israel and compromise the safety and the well-being of the Israelis living on the border of Gaza and the rest of the people living in Israel.
Is it now, knowing you have a president of the United States that lets you get all your weapons, not holding them back, are not going to tell you not to go into certain areas, and are going to let you call the shots? How much different does it feel?
Well, we'll know in a few days. I think from the beginning, this looks and feels different. And I think that the preparations in Israel are for a very different type of military campaign. Some of that is based on the political understanding that what will Israel be allowed to do by its allies and friends around the world, and most importantly by the US. And I think that the Israeli plans, and Israel has signaled that, is that Israel is going to take the battle to Hamas and make them feel pain like we haven't done before, including using all tools available for the state of Israel against Hamas and everything that supports Hamas. And of course, that wasn't available for Israel in the past, and that prevented Israel from conducting decisive warfare, and that unfortunately extended the fighting. It extended the suffering unduly.
True. Colonel, how I imagine you guys use this time too. You got satellites, you have surveillance, you're seeing how people moved in times of peace. You were able to maybe go to school on where those hostages came up from, and maybe you understand sensitive sites better than ever before.
Yes, and the but here is that we understand that our hostages, our 59 hostages, live and dead, are kept underground in tunnels that are heavily guarded by Hamas terrorists, and that it would be extremely difficult to get to them and get them out alive. I can assure you that Israeli security forces will definitely try to do that, and we will go in and we will try to get our people out. If negotiations totally fail, then that is what Israel will try to do. It is a very challenging endeavor to do, because the tactical situation is extremely difficult to get live hostages out. But our resolve is 100%. We will try to get our people home and release them from Hamas captivity.
While keeping an eye on the missile strikes, possibly from the Houthis, and Iran has always promised to hit back. And at the same time, the good news is Hezbollah is not close to the threat they were in the north, so you can really focus more. A lot on your plate. I'm glad you have the president's backing to go do what you have to do. Colonel, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Israel must be given the opportunity to finish this war, just like we claimed since the beginning of this conflict. If Hamas is not obliterated, this risk is always going to be hovering over our heads. Hamas needs to be removed for the safety of the people in Israel and, of course, for the safety of the people of Gaza. Let's take a look at the response of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Hamas is responsible for this war. It invaded our towns, murdered our people, raped our women, and kidnapped our loved ones. Hamas refused offer after offer to release our hostages. In the past 2 weeks, Israel did not initiate any military action in the hope that Hamas would change course. Well, that didn't happen. While Israel accepted the offer of President Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, Hamas flatly refused to do so. And this is why I authorized yesterday the renewal of military action against Hamas. Israel does not target Palestinian civilians. We target Hamas terrorists. And when these terrorists embed themselves in civilian areas, when they use civilians as human shields, they're the ones who are responsible for all unintended casualties. Palestinian civilians should avoid any contact with Hamas terrorists. And I call on the people of Gaza, get out of harm's way, move to safer areas. Because every civilian casualty is a tragedy. And every civilian casualty is the fault of Hamas. I thank President Trump for his unwavering support for Israel. Our alliance with the United States has never been stronger. To those who criticize Israel, I ask, what would you do if terrorists murdered and kidnapped your children?
Exactly the same thing.
You would do what we are doing. In the face of pure evil, free societies have no choice but to fight. So I want to assure all our friends around the world, Israel will fight and Israel will win. We will bring our people home and we will destroy Hamas. We will not relent until we achieve all these vital goals. And we will not rest until we give our country a future of peace, prosperity, and hope.
This war can never be finished, even if all the hostages are home, as long as Hamas is in power. So I support the resuming of the war versus Hamas. It's very unfortunate, but some civilians are going to lose their lives because of Hamas's choices, because they choose to embed themselves within civilian casualties. But this is the cost of war waged on Israel. They have to deal with the consequences. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time.